Welcome, Defenders of Dungeons. The Fruitman here with a Dungeon Defenders Awakened tutorial video. Today I'll be sharing with you how I broke into the Nightmare difficulty. Found this difficulty curve going from Insane to Nightmare was pretty steep, and I had to play around with a few different builds so I could get to a point where I could farm some decent gear to progress through the campaign mode. So let's get started. The map I used for farming was the second map, Ancient Mines. There are a few reasons that I use this map over the first campaign map, which is Deeper Wells. I actually find it is easier to run on survival mode, and you obviously, being the second map, you get slightly better loot rolls, so you better gear. But the main reason to do this one is also the pet at Wave 15, which is Mr. Mine. It is a great builder pet, and we'll talk more about that later when we get one. Okay, to start off the build, we'll be using a Huntress with builder stats and also a Waller Squire for blockades. You'll have enough mana for one gas trap, one explosive trap and one spike blockade at each building location. That should be more than enough to get us through the first wave. You will need to watch out for any loose Sharken on one side where there's only one blockade, but we'll finish that in the next one. During the first wave of mobs, you want to have a DPS champion out and just run around and kill all the mobs to speed it up a bit and also collect mana so that you can continue the build in wave 2. Then any other leftover mana in this wave I put through to some Deathstroke towers. You should hopefully get enough mana for at least 2. You can place them in 2 different spots in case one gets jumped by spiders. And you should be able to angle them so that they both reach both building locations where the mobs are all going to be, which is good. The Deathstroke towers are very good in Nightmare mode, as they take care of any nightmare mobs first, so any spiders, sharkens, djinns and goblin copters. So no goblin copters on this map to worry about, which is good. But yeah, it will help with spider and the djinns and the sharkens. And the wave 2 build phase is finish walling off the other side of the map where we only put one blockade. You'll want to make sure the 2 blockades on the sides are as close to the walls as possible. Otherwise ogres can sometimes just walk over them and go straight for your crystal. Obviously that's not what you want. At the end of the second wave you should now have enough mana to come close to finishing the build. So we'll add a Thunder Spike trap at each blockade. This will help with the ogres and dark elf warriors whilst they're wailing on your walls, and they'll also drop any spiders that come behind them. We'll also put a strength rain order at each blockade location, which will help you keep your blockades alive whilst the ogres are attacking. Then we will continue with more DSTs or Deathstroke towers, and this will complete the build. So you'll have quite a few Deathstroke towers, as you can see. Like I said, they're very good in Nightmare mode, so I use them a lot. In the early waves, you'll now just want to worry about upgrading and repairing your towers, auras and traps to make sure they stay healthy. During the earlier waves I try to prioritise upgrading the Deathstroke towers. However, if your walls or traps or auras are getting damaged, you obviously want to keep them repaired, and a good way to keep them repaired is upgrading them. So if you do find that they are not holding up very well, upgrade them first and do the Deathstroke towers later. Here we are at wave 5. This will be the first wave that any ogres spawn on this map, which is one of the big benefits of doing Ancient Mines Beaver Deeper Wells, is no ogres until wave 5, whereas Deeper Wells, I believe you have ogres every single wave. You also get a lot less ogres on this map. You only ever have 1 or 2 at any location at any time, whereas in Deeper Wells, I always struggled as I was getting overwhelmed by several ogres even in earlier waves. So you want to make sure that you do have your DPS champion out so that they can help damage and kite the ogres away from your walls if needed. And you also want to be able to survive a few hits whilst you're trying to repair your walls and traps and auras if also needed. We have now reached wave 9. This will be the first wave that the Delphs, or the Dark Elf Warriors, will start spawning. So when you are on lower stats, these can be quite troublesome because they will have a lot of health compared to most mobs. They'll go straight for you, so your DPS hero will die quite often, and they will drain your auras and hurt your walls quite a bit. But there is a few hiding spots on this map where you can actually hide from the Delphs and they won't focus you. So if you run over here, it's just starting the wave at the top of this little platform here, and then start the wave. You will need to be careful of Djinns as they will sometimes target you while you're up here, but if you usually just jump around a bit, they'll usually leave you alone. So what I would do is wait up here until the Delphs and Ogres are dead. Then I jump over here, and then from up here I jump behind the walls for extra protection, and then start repairing everything here, then run to the other side and repair that, and then you want to try and run back and jump up here, which will be another safe spot from Delphs, as they do spawn a couple times each wave, so you want to try and hide from them before they come out again. So I'm using much higher stats now than when I was first doing this, so my walls and my health won't be damaged too much, but you'll probably find you start struggling at around wave 9. So here we are at last, wave 15, where we will be getting the map survival pet, Mr. Mine. I found this pet was a great boost for builders, especially early on in Nightmare mode. The one here I've got is pretty crappy because it only actually has 2 tower stats, but most of the time, more often than not, you will get one with all 4 tower stats, with rather large numbers compared to the rest of the gear and any pets you've had in Insane mode. And this will instantly give your builders a fairly big boost in power, and then you'll be able to complete more campaign modes or get further in this build in the survival mode to farm even more gear. There is, however, one big drawback with this pet, is it will slow your movement speed on your builders or anyone that has the pet equipped, which can make doing the campaign maps quite difficult. But it's not an issue if you're doing survival runs, so you can do a few more runs of the map, get one of these pets for each of your builders, continue doing the survival run until you can get a treadmill pet from wave 25, and they'll generally give you similar stats if not better, and it won't limit your movement speed, which makes the campaign mode much easier. So yeah, that's what I did. I got one of these Mr. Mines for each of my pets, did a couple campaign modes, came back with a few bit more better loot, came back to this map to farm even more loot until I could get some giraffes on the treadmills, and then I went from there. And here we are, made it to the end, and here will be our reward. A nice giraffe and treadmill pet. As you can see, this one has 100 plus in all 4 builder stats, which is quite handy. This pet won't do any attacking, so it's pretty useless on a DPS hero, but that's fine. We just want it for our builder stats at this stage. And I'll just run around and have a look at a few items here. You can see you get a few mythicals around the place, which is great for getting into Nightmare. So just some things to note. This build definitely isn't the fastest way to clear the map, but I found it was the only one that worked for me with the lower stats and getting in, and thus I was able to use it to do some grinding for some experience in gear and obviously the pets, and that helped my progression through the Nightmare campaigns and onwards. I'll leave a link in the description to my Dungeon Defenders Awakened Builder map page that I've set up, and I've also thrown together a little Google document with all the stats of my heroes when I reached and cleared wave 25 on each map. Also included wave 19 on this map, just so you can see what stats I had when I got to wave 19, which were quite low, so you will be able to easily get a pet with even lower stats than that. Hopefully this build will help some of you get into the Nightmare mode and progress through the campaign, and I'll try and do some more videos for other maps in the coming weeks. Okay, well, until next time, keep those dungeons safe.